My prompts are classical literature, enemies to lover, persuasion. Jane Austen is beginning to discover that the world is larger, more mysterious, and more romantic than she has supposed. But this was from two kids and running a thriving business together. Yet, like magnets, they're always drawn back to each other. And now they're beginning to wonder if they're truly ready. I have chosen for my enemies to lovers because I have a bunch of books that are like enemies to lovers, but I already read them and I don't feel like rereading any books at the moment. I'll probably like reread a book if it's the rest of the series. Hi besties, welcome to my YouTube channel, Dajah Nicole. So in today's video, if you can tell, I will be letting my TBR jar pick out my June TBR. So June is about to like happen. It's coming, like literally creeping on us, because I think Saturday is the last day of May and June 1st is Sunday. So I was like, let's do this video early, like couple more days left in May, so I can have this posted before June. So I'll be posting this video on Friday. Today's Wednesday, but yeah. But like I said, I will be doing my TBR jar. I will be picking out my June TBR. So I'm planning to read 5 books. I have a lot of books that I'm reading at the moment anyways, because I feel like I have been in a huge reading slump. But I am doing a 12-hour readathon tomorrow, and then I'm planning to do a 24-hour readathon as well, but that won't be posted until like weeks after the 12-hour readathon. So yeah, and I was like, I still need to pick my June TBR because why not? But I will be doing my April, May, and June wrap up in July. I was supposed to do it for April and May for this month, but because I just been in a reading slump lately and just now picking back up to reading, I'm just going to do that in the month of July. I have seen other creators put their reading slumps from like the last 2 months or the last 3 months into one big video, so I might just do that in the beginning of July, which is my birthday month. But yeah besties, just let y'all know that will be coming out in July. I have a lot of videos I want to do in June that are reading related or just vlog related, and same thing with July. And it's just a lot has happened in a good way for me that I don't want to like share out on like YouTube because I don't want someone to jinx it, but good things has happened. But let's just get into today's video besties. If you're new to my channel, hi, my name is Dajah Nicole. I do lifestyle, bookish type videos, fashion. I do a little bit of anything and everything on my channel, mostly bookish and vlogs, but my older videos are vlogs and fashion type content. So yeah, but let's just get into today's video, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and let's just get into today's TBR. So yeah, so this is my TBR jar. I made this like last year and I used it like twice in different videos, and I like to put at least 2 to 3 new prompts in this jar before I do these type of videos. If I want to do like a TBR jar, pick out my TBR for that month. So I have put some new prompts in here. I want to make a bigger one and transfer these into a bigger jar, but then make smaller prompts, like print them out and stuff for this one, because this is like a very like standard size jar. But let me just open it, and I'm gonna pick 5 different prompts, and then after I pick those 5 different prompts, I am going to get those books for those prompts. So yeah, so let's just get into this video. the top is off. So the first thing is I'm just gonna pick 5 random things, and then I'm going to open those prompts, and then after we open those prompts, I'm gonna go step off a camera, get those books that I have for those prompts, and then yeah, so let's just pick out the prompts first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm gonna close up my drawer, and these are the 5 prompts that I picked out. As you can see, I don't know what these prompts are. I'm about to unfold each prompt and read them and also show you them. And then yeah, so the first prompt is classical literature, which I actually have one classical literature that I just recently got, and it's like the first ever classical literature that I have bought for myself because I want to get into classical literature. And someone who is like a friend who lives in New York plus a supporter of mine, she wants to know how I feel about that book once I read it, so I'm going to read that book and I'll show you that book in a few after I show y'all and tell you all the prompts. But my first prompt is classical literature. The second prompt is a color and a title. So it can have any color in the title, but the name of that color has to be in the title. And there's a book that I always wanted to read. I got it from like Book of the Month, I think last year, and I need to read it, so yeah. The next prompt is from a Black author. I'm surprised that I'm now just getting this prompt because I have 2 of Kennedy Ryan books, and I have heard that her books are so good, and they're actually like a series or a duology. So I'm going to read the first book from Kennedy Ryan, and I will show y'all that book. Y'all probably know what type of book I'm talking about because it's very, very popular within Bookstagram, BookTok, BookTube, and a lot of people have said so many things about the book. But that's what this prompt say, a book from a Black author, so yeah. My fourth prompt is start a series. So I am actually going to put this prompt back in a few minutes and pick out another one. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I'm not really in a, oh, let me just start a new series, because I'm actually in the middle of a lot of series, then starting a new series, and I have finished some series, I'm about to finish some other series, and I don't really have books to start a series or those books to start. So I'm gonna put this one back after I read out the last prompt, and then I'm going to read out that prompt that I'm going to replace this one with, just because I know I don't have a book for this at the moment. Like I need like more book cards or my own personal library, which will happen soon. But I'm gonna put this back because I can't really, I don't want to restart a series, and I'm already restarting a series, so it's like there's no point of doing that. But yeah. So the fourth prompt is enemies to lovers. I have a lot of books. I was just looking at my book cart because I have a lot of books that are part of series, that are standalones that I can read for this. So this is going to be very interesting, but I am going to find a book for this. I hopefully hopefully I have a standalone for this prompt, then a series, because I'm already in the middle of a series that I'm reading. And yeah, so we're gonna put back this prompt just because of that, but I'm not gonna put it back at the moment because I don't want to pick it up again. So let's like stir, and let's get a new prompt. Put this prompt back in. Let's twist this. And so the prompt that I picked up was a dark romance, and I can actually finish a series that is a dark romance. And yeah, because I finished one series, it was like mostly like a romanticies, but there's a series that I need to finish, and it's a dark romance series. So yeah, so again, my prompts are classical literature, enemies to lovers, from a black author, a color in the title, and dark romance. And I just love how it's like a pattern with the little sheets of paper, because it's like this burgundy or like violet red color, and then like a mustard yellow within like all the prompts that I picked. And like up, I just thought that was crazy, and a very very quiddinkadink, you know. But let me go pick these books out, and then I will come back to show y'all. So yeah. Okay, besties, so I have picked up all the books that I have chosen for each of my prompts that I picked from a TBR jar. It is 5. Like I said, I picked 5 prompts. I had to put one prompt back and pick another one. So I am just going to do my yellows first, and then like the yellow sheets of paper, and then like the red violet sheets of paper after. So for my classic literature, I got in Persuasion by Jane Austen. So I have heard that a lot of classical literatures are good, and I don't know if this one is good. Like I said, this is the first classical literature that I'm reading, because my goal actually this year was to get into classical literature books. So I can't wait to read it. It looks like it can be a quick read. So it is, okay, so what it says, so I'm reading the back. It's in Persuasion, Jane Austen is beginning to discover that the world is larger, more mysterious, and more romantic than she has supposed. Supposed. But and this was quoted from Virginia Woolf. So it says, Jane Austen novel and missed opportunities and second chance centers on Annie Elliot, no longer young and with few romantic prospects. 8 years earlier, she was persuaded by others to break off her engagement to poor handsome naval captain Frederick Wentworth. What happens when they met again is movingly told in Austen's last completed novel, set in the fashionable society of Lyme Regis and Bath. Persuasion is a brilliant satire of vanity and pretension, and a mature, tender love story tinged with heartache. So yeah, this is the book that I have chosen for my classical literature. So for my next prompt, which was from a black author, I have chosen Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. So I have heard so many good things about this book. I actually have the second book, which I got from Books A Million back in September, but I got this book from Book of the Month. So it was just like an extra book that I got on whenever the book I got that month. I think I got it back in 2024 or 2025. But yeah, so I have heard so many good things about this book. So it says, their love was supposed to last forever, but when life delivered blow after devastating blow, Yasmin and Joshua Wade made that love alone couldn't solve or save everything. It couldn't save their marriage. Yasmin wasn't prepared for how her life fell apart, but she finally starting to find joy again. She and Joshua have found a new rhythm, co-parenting their 2 kids and running a thriving business together. Yet, like magnets, they're always drawn back to each other. And now they're beginning to wonder if they're truly ready to let go of everything they once had. Soon, one stolen kiss leads to another, and then more. It's hot, it's addicted, it's all good until old wounds reopen. Is it too late for them to find forever, or could they even be better the second time around? So yeah, this is before I let go. So, and I heard that this book was really good, and I have heard a lot of people say that they love Kennedy Ryan's writing, so I cannot wait to read this book and then also read the second book. So yeah, so for the next prompt, which is a color in the title, so literally violet is a color. It's, people call it purple, some people say violet. It's like a different shade of purple, but violet is a color. So this is Violet Thurston Wade is not a villain anymore, and this is by Emily Kapolz. I think I'm pronouncing her name right. I got this last year in November for book of the month. So this is what the cover looks like. Like, look at the cover of this book. So yeah, so it says, Guy's shadow fate is dead, and after a lifetime as a dark sorcerer, right hand, Violet, I'm going to say T because I cannot pronounce the last name, but Violet T is determined to start over. Not as a fearsome Thornton witch, as someone kind, someone better, someone good. Wait, no. Not as a fearsome Thornton witch, but as someone kind, someone better, someone good. The quaint town of Dragon Rest, Violet decides, will be her second chance. She will settle down roots, open a flower shop, keep her senses, houseplants in check, and prune dark magic from the twisted broths of her life. Violet's vibrant bouquets and cheerful enchantments soon charms the welcome town folks. Though nothing seems to impress the prickly yet dashingly handsome Nathaniel Marsh, an art alchemist during her greenhouse with a struggling business of his and his own second chance seemingly out of reach, Nathaniel has no time for flowers or frippery, and certainly none for the intriguing witch next door. When a mysterious blinked endangers every living plant and Dragon Rest, Violet and Nathaniel must work together through their fears, past and growing feelings for each other to save their community. But with Bigger from her previous life knocking at her door and her secrets threatening to uproot everything she works so hard to grow, Violet can't help but wonder, does a former villain truly deserve a happily ever after? So I'm guessing this is, of course, fantasy. It could be romance. Enemies to lovers. Like, I only got this because it has violet and that is a color, like the prompt said. But it's giving me romantasy, enemies to lovers. And she wants to, like, restart life again, and what's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that. So the second to last prompt, which is the fourth prompt, is dark romance. For this prompt, I did choose a book from a series that needs to be finished, and that was Hexed, and this is part of the A Never After series. So this is Hexed by Emily McIntyre. I love all the books so far in this series, and this is the last book in this series, and it's a pretty thick book because most of the books in this series is not really this thick, and this is about 520 pages because I just checked. But it says he's the prince of La Cosa Nostra. She's the witch who steals his heart. Vanessa Anderson has never been good. She wasn't good enough for her parents, and she isn't good enough for the gangster uncle who took her in after they died. But she's cunning, beautiful, dutiful. It literally says dutiful, so yeah. To her uncle demands, and she doesn't have time for a moral compass. Anyway, when her runaway cousin returns to their coastal southern town, she brings a man with her, and Vanessa soon realizes he's the only one who ever seen her for her. There's just one problem: she could never have him. Enzo Loverboy Mariano is a wealthy businessman by day and a prince of the underworld by night. Underboss up to a notorious mafia syndicate or syndicate, I don't know, but I will put it like here, but I'm editing what's the name. But he answers to no one except his father, the strongest don in the Northeast. When his task with marriage, Enzo doesn't think twice until he met his fiancée cousin. Vanessa is everything he never knew he wanted, bewitching him with her slurry voice and sublime curves. But Enzo learned long ago from a man but Enzo learned long ago that for a man like him, and life is better without the things you want. When plans unravel and temptation sings its siren song, they both have to choose what's more important: duty to their families or forbidden love that was never supposed to be. And I'm so sorry that I butchered that, but yeah. So this is what I got for dark romance. And again, this is Hex by Emily McIntyre, and this is part of the A Never After series. So yeah. So my last book in the last prompt that I have is Enemies to Lovers, and I wanted to read a book that I got like months ago. No, I think back in 2024, so years ago, like 2 years ago, but I just never like read the book because I just never, it's like the cover and it being a spray edge, because I'm gonna show you the edges. The color of the color of the cover of the book is white, so it's very like, oh, read me, read me, read me. But I just never really had the courage or the interest to read it. So I am. So this is Bloodguard by Cissy Robinson, and it is an enemies to lovers war type knight in shining armor type romance. It's a romantasy, but it takes place with like knight in shining armor. So let me read it inside. So it says, everything in the kingdom of Arrow is a lie. Leith of Grey thought coming to this new land and volunteering to fight in a gladiator arena. So it's not knight, so gladiator arena. Vicious, bloody, thirsty tournaments where only the strongest survived would earn him enough gold to save his dying sister. He thought there was nothing left to lose. He was wrong, and they took everything: his hope, his freedom, and his very humanity. All Leith has left is his battle-scarred body, fueled by rage and hardened from years of fighting for the right to live another day. Then Leith meets Maeve, an 11 royal who is everything he despised, everything he should hate, until the Aloran princess offers him the one thing he needs most, a chance to win that covers the title of Bloodguard and his freedom. But in a kingdom built on secrets and lied, hope doesn't come cheap, nor will his ultimate revenge. And then on the back it says, enter the arena, seize 2 weapons, now try to survive. And like I said, it is sprayed edges, so like this is what it looks like. And I got this from Book of the Month, and it was also an extra book that I got because the cover really like stood out to me. Like, look at the cover, besties. Like, look at the cover of this book. But this is a book that I have chosen for my enemies to lovers, because I have a bunch of books that are like enemies to lovers, but I already read them and I don't feel like rereading any books at the moment. I'll probably like reread a book if it's the rest of the series that I already have, and I'm going to refresh my memory, and or I finish all my books on my TBR and I just want to read for pleasure. Even though I do read for pleasure, I feel like you shouldn't want to feel like, oh, I need to read these many books for like by the end of this month. Like, I still have books to read from last month and a month before, and I'm just taking my time. And it's just, when you are not thinking about trying to finish like a certain amount of books within them like 31 days, 30 days, depending on how many days that month have, it can really help you enjoy reading. But if you do think, oh, I need to finish this book before the end of the month, it won't really let you enjoy reading. So yeah, you want to enjoy something that you love. Like, reading is a hobby that I love, and yeah, but I have read like 85% of the book, so I have about to be like 90% once I'm done with like some stocks that I'm reading. So yeah, but let me just get everything ready and I'm going to close on this video, besties. And yeah, so besties, these are all the books that I'm going to read in the month of June. If you have read any of these books, besties, please let me know. I am actually, like, to be honest with you guys, I'm very curious if I'm going to like this book. And I'm not just saying that because it's like, it's a short read, but it's my first classical literature book that I'm reading ever, and I want to like expand my horizon when it comes to like books. And classical literature books can be romance books, and this sounds like it can be a romance book if I remember reading it from the back earlier, like in this video. But I am like, I always wanted to get into classical literature. I have seen it on my For You page a lot, and also like people that I follow on Instagram, like from like TikTok and stuff, I like see a lot. So I really want to, and as someone who is trying to change the things that she reads, like, I don't like reading like smut like that, but I'll read dark romance. But with dark romance, it has to be like a certain type of like smut in it for me to enjoy it, because not every book needs smut, not every book needs spice in it. So yeah, I can't wait to read it. But if you have read any of these books, besties, let me know. And I really do hope that you liked today's video, besties. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the bell notification so every time I post a video you will be notified. And I'll see you on the next video. Bye, and I love you guys. And don't forget to, don't forget and remember, and remember to always follow your goals no matter what, besties. Like I said, I'm getting back into YouTube, so this is a goal of mine, is to just get back into YouTube. But I love you guys, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.